So far we've looked at HTML and CSS, and we're at the very end of our HTML CSS section. So in this video, we're gonna do a few things. First, we should update our deployment on Netlify, and I'll walk you through how to do that. And then I'm going to give you a brief summary of what we've done in this course so far, and what else there is to learn in HTML and CSS, and what's next. And I'll tell you a little bit about how you can support what we're doing. So first, let's go to Netlify. So this is our current website. In our Netlify, we have this link, which is where we've deployed our earlier version. So this is what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply go to deploys here, and we're going to drag and drop this folder in here. Okay, so once we do that, it should have updated. Yes, so it's updated now. It's very quick. So now our website is fully available. And if you are using this on a mobile phone, we previously used Google Sites to do the deployment on a mobile phone, because Netlify unfortunately does not have the ability to deploy from the phone. But now that we have multiple pages on our site and we have a lot of interlinks and a lot of media now, we can no longer use Google Sites to publish this site. We have to use Netlify. So if you have done this on your phone and you've used Google Sites to deploy your web page, now the only option you have is to use Netlify. So go find a laptop, go find a computer, go borrow it from somebody, and then deploy your code onto Netlify. And it's a one-time job. It will take hardly 5 to 10 minutes. So just create a Netlify account and then do it. And once you do it, you don't have to touch it again, but you'll have the link to that. So then you can show it to other people, and this will be your first website as well. So it's good to have that. So even if you don't have a laptop or a computer at home, I highly recommend that you do this. So I would encourage you to get to a desktop and deploy your website like this and get the link. So now that we've done that, let's look at a summary of what we've covered so far in this course. So if you go to YouTube, and a link to this playlist is available in the description below. So you can see that we have come quite far. So in this playlist, we're going to see what we've looked at so far. I'll give you the overview of the course, and we looked at what components a website is made of. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is just the front-end component. There are other things, and how this is common to all websites. We saw that, and we saw how to open, create, save, and edit a HTML file on your computer. And we saw the basic concepts of HTML, and we saw the most commonly used HTML tags, and we saw how to use tables and images in HTML. And we saw what attributes are and what file paths are, and we saw how to work with the relative file paths and did some exercises with it. And then I gave you the first project with HTML. And remember that for each of the prompts that I've given, I've also shown you the solutions, and we've built on the same project. And we saw how to publish our website on the internet using Netlify. And I showed you some tricks and tips to work on your phone, what kind of apps you should get to do coding on your phone, and how to deploy your page on the phone. We saw CSS, some common properties with CSS, and we saw the project for CSS, and we saw how to update your web page on Netlify. We saw how to work with internal style sheets and CSS selectors, external style sheets, and we saw how to use codepen.io, which is a very useful tool. You should definitely use this in the future for quick coding or sharing your work. And we saw how to specify color in CSS, and we saw other projects in CSS. We saw how to update your deployment in Google Sites. This is for the phone. If you have a computer, you don't have to worry about this. Google Sites is not as good as Netlify, but if you only have a phone, then Google Sites should help you publish your web page. And we saw how to format and beautify our CSS code and HTML code, and we saw anchor tags, and we saw how to use W3 School's website to learn new CSS properties, which is very helpful. And throughout this course, we've looked at how to use Google to our advantage, and we saw how to add menu items, fixed footer. These are all demo projects, and I've asked you to rely heavily on Google to do these things. And if you've done that, you should be in very good shape to learn anything actually. And we saw some other things, and mostly with the completion of these demo projects, you should be in good shape to practice and exercise your HTML and CSS knowledge, because only when you do the actual work of coding and using and applying your knowledge, you actually learn. So doing these projects should really help you consolidate your learning so far. So what's more to learn in HTML and CSS? So right now we have the ability to create multiple pages and link them together like this. And we have the ability to embed media like images and videos. And we also have the ability to write forms and use some not so simple CSS properties. And we also know how to add lists and tables and links and stuff like that. So we know the basics. The next step to this would be to incorporate themes into our websites. So when we build things like this on our own, we can only get it to look so good. If you want to spend less effort and make it look really good, then you need to know how to use themes. So that's something that we still need to look at, and we may look at it in the future. There are actually a lot of videos already on YouTube on how to use Bootstrap or Semantic or other kind of UI frameworks which will help you make your website look really beautiful. So you can Google this. You can Google Bootstrap, Semantic UI, Material UI. So all of these things are kind of UI frameworks which will help you modify the looks of your website without doing too much work. So I'd recommend looking into those, and we may look at it in the future. We may also not do it because it's quite simple and there are already a lot of resources online. So we may not look into it, but we'll see. If you want to look at Bootstrap themes or something else specific, please leave a comment below, and based on the level of interest, I will take it up to add content based on that. So what's next? So obviously this is a course on HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So our next natural step is to get into JavaScript. So we will be looking into JavaScript starting very soon. And unlike HTML and CSS, JavaScript is very dynamic and you can do a lot with it. It's not just about building websites. You can actually do a lot more with JavaScript than what we've learned so far. So that's going to be exciting. And last but not least, I would like to make an appeal for your support. So far, I've invested a lot of effort into making these content, and I've been doing it in both English and Tamil so that everybody gets an opportunity to learn these things. And I'm going to continue to do this, but I'm going to need your support because I am doing this full time and it takes a lot of dedication and persistence to do these things. And if I am in a full-time job and also trying to do this, I may not be able to do this. So I need some way to survive so that I can continue to do this. So I have created a Patreon account so that any of you who wishes to support me can support me. And also in the description below, you'll find my UPI ID if you wish to make a one-time donation, because I have been doing this without much expectation and I really don't like to ask for donations or money. But obviously, if I'm to continue to do this, I need some way to make a living. So if you feel like you benefited from what I'm doing and you wish to show your support, please consider showing your support through a donation. That would really mean a lot to me. That would really help me a lot, and it would really motivate me to push further in creating free content for you guys. But in case you're not able to donate, you don't have the money to donate, it's fine. You can still show your support by sharing links to these videos to other people who may be benefited from it. Because at the end of the day, I want to help you guys with this. So please share these links with other people who may find it useful. And if not even that, then just use these content to advance yourself. Please learn from this. Please just follow my advice and make as much out of this as you can. That in itself would actually be an expression of your support, because at the end of the day, that's what I want. I'm doing this because I want you to benefit from it. So you taking benefit out of this would in itself be a way of showing your support. So I hope you will support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.